letting my smile be my umbrella.
Yeah, I have to.
Obviously, this is a serious situation, and I've got a couple of thoughts on it since it involves my alma mater and institution of higher learning in a place that I hold so near and dear to my heart, in the University of Michigan, and the head football coach, Sherrone Moore, who spent Wednesday night, as we all know, detained based on what happened after he was fired with cause by the University of Michigan for having an improper relationship with a staffer. And I'm just going to come out and always do what I do here on this program, which is shoot you straight and lead with my heart. And I am gutted. I am shocked. I'm dismayed. I'm depressed. I'm disgusted. Every single emotion that you think I would have, I've got. I didn't see it in Sherrone Moore. When I've met him, he's been nothing but great to me, nothing but great to my family. And with what he's done as an acting head coach and up to this point as a head coach of the University of Michigan, I cannot believe that this behavior has been ascribed to him and appears to be behavior that he, in fact, endeavored, placing in jeopardy his marriage, his life, his professional life, his personal life, and a football program. And right now, I go back and forth between, my gosh, the football aspect of it, but more importantly, the personal aspect of it. Because right now, families and lives are shattered. Everybody involved in this is shattered. Pieces on the ground, based again on everything we're learning from reports, police reports about what happened after Sherrone learned that he was out as University of Michigan head coach, shows you that this is more than just a football story. It is something that is tragic. And thank goodness no lives have been lost. I don't know what was going on with Sherrone Moore in his mind that was going down after. Clearly he had received the news and brought it back home that he was no longer the head coach of the University of Michigan football program and the reasons why and everything that spiraled out of control. I think of his wife. I think of his 3 daughters. I think of him. I think of the young lady that's involved and everything that must be going on in her life and the choices that she might be lamenting right now and all the choices that everyone involved made and whatever was going on around the program. And I will just say this, and this may have something to do with the football aspect of it as well. It took no less than 90 minutes after Ohio State thumped the University of Michigan in the Big House just a couple of Saturdays ago. It took no fewer than 90 minutes for me to hear the rumor about this. No fewer than 4 times from 4 different people. Calling me up, texting me, did you hear this? Did you know that? What do you know about this? And the rumor, so nasty. I didn't want to share the details with anybody. Yep. With anybody. I did reach out to a couple of friends to say, did you hear about this? I did mention it to Susie. And I think I came into you guys the next day, and I'm like, I heard something awful.
Yeah. That was what you said a couple times. The rumors I'm hearing are so bad, I don't want to repeat them.
Right, I don't want to spread them.
Yeah.
Because it's so awful.
Yep.
And I heard
you
that
didn't
something.
tell us.
And I did not, but so when I was getting ready for last night's Booyah event, and put my phone down for about 20 minutes, and picked it back up, getting ready to go. There were 29 different texts from different people saying, "Did you hear this? Can't believe that." A lot of it, all of us from the Michigan football world or just the University of Michigan world reaching out to me. What do you know? What do you hear? There's so many pieces that are currently up in the air and smashed on the ground. I don't even know what's the best way to move forward here. I have no idea what the investigation was turning up, if there's anything to be investigated above the Michigan football program in this regard. I have no idea. All I know is speaking on behalf, if I may, of the Michigan alumni base. This is terrible. This is an absolute disaster. This is a nightmare. This is something that I don't ever want to hear about any program or any coach or any family, let alone the one that I hold so near and dear. and that I wear on my sleeve, I wear on my heart. I speak with my heart and my chest when I talk about this. Everybody feels that way, I hope, about their school. I know you love Syracuse quite a bit. You talk about it. You cape for it.
Man.
I know you have love for many different schools. And Mike, you're a Notre Dame guy,
yeah.
right? So all of us, I'm sorry, I don't mean to fire in your direction, TJ. I'm just trying to keep some of this light, you know.
I understand.
But for me, this is something that I could never imagine would roost in the house of the University of Michigan. And if this is all in fact true, and clearly there's going to be lawsuits and recriminations and talks and this and that about all of it, it is something that I don't know how we move on. And the only way that it can move on is a full accounting of what's gone down. A full accounting of what's gone down and why it went down and how it went down and who can prevent it from happening again. And then at that point in time, you do have to turn to the fact that there are players currently involved, whether they are current members of the team or there are current members of the class, incoming class at the University of Michigan, or players who just committed, players who just signed letters of intent, players who are on the dotted line, players who are there who are wondering what the hell happened with Coach Moore. When did we know? What happened? Maybe they heard the rumors. They can't believe that they're true. And then there's a transfer portal on January 2nd. And what do you tell any of the kids there to actually tell them on behalf of all of us here at the University of Michigan? This is not the way it is, although it is. This is not the way it's supposed to be, even though it is currently being. How do you tell those people? I wish I could do that right now and have it sink in, because this is, again, larger than the football team. This is about what we talk about at the University of Michigan and what that Block M is all about, and trying to untarnish that right now over everything that's gone on. And I don't know how to do that. And so if there's anybody out there in the Michigan fan base, I know Taylor Lewan is joining in hour 3, has reached out to me like, you can do something.
You can do it.
I have no idea what I can do. I have no idea if Lane Kiffin's in Bryce Underwood's driveway right now. I have no idea if that even matters based on how everything has gone on. I have no idea who could be the next football coach of the University of Michigan, because right now, to be straight up, when I was going through all of the emotions, having heard all this, because again, I have really enjoyed my interactions with Sherrone Moore. He's been on this show. You guys have met him.
Yep.
He's been, again, great to my family. I mean, we just brought Cooper to the campus there. He could not have been more gracious in introducing him around, and I could not have been more prideful of all that. And now all of that being called into question is so conflicting for me that I did spend at one point in time, after thinking about all this, saying if there was an investigation going on, could they have wrapped it up before everybody else just signed everywhere, including 2 Big Ten spots against teams that are coming for Michigan when they do play one another, including, you bet, Michigan State. And that that cycle of hiring is now done and in the books. And now Michigan's going to go into that market with this hanging over the program's head and try and figure out who that person is, because if that person is currently getting set for a college football playoff game, well, I don't think that person's going to be available. And if you think it's somebody maybe from the National Football League, there's some names that are being thrown around out there. What are they going to do? Just leave their teams in the middle of the December run to take the University of Michigan job in the middle of all this, just to make sure that everybody understands don't enter the transfer portal? What happens if you want a coach who's actually winning football games that matter? Well, that coach won't be available till, say, January, or in the National Football League, maybe February. When this all went down, it's amazing that in the history of this show, as we're sitting here from the seat of Disney in New York City, we came on the air and I was caping for Jim Harbaugh. Like, he's got to come back. He's got. At the time, though, it was clear that things were not working out between him and the San Francisco 49ers, and that Michigan had the ability to potentially wait for him. And it all worked out. The timing here couldn't be worse. And I'm saying this again with a heavy heart and completely conflicted, because when it all comes down to it, me sitting here wondering about the timing about the football program, when there are people staring into the abyss about how their lives have been completely upended by the choices that have been made by others, completely out of their control. And that includes a wife, apparently, and 3 daughters, apparently, and whatever's going on in between the temples of Sherrone Moore. Lives shattered. It makes it feel like I'm being a small person wondering about what about a football program, because it is a much larger issue. So if anybody's out there wondering what I'm thinking, I'm laying it all out there. I don't know. I have no idea what the future holds. I hope it holds nothing but greatness, but that's just me. I'm sure there is a bunch of other folks out there who are loving the Michigan Tears right now. And I don't know what else to say other than what's on my mind and in my heart, and what I could possibly do to help. I don't know what that is, other than just being honest and straight here and just telling anybody out there who's wondering, can it all work out? It's still a great place to go to school and play football. And hopefully at the end of the day, this doesn't fall completely apart on the football front. And hopefully pieces are on the ground of players there, players who've committed to come in, parents of those players who committed to this program in this school, wondering if now they thought they had 4 years potentially of this experience in front of them. Now they're wondering if they even want it in the span of 24 hours. And then you're wondering what's going on in the halls of the regents who make these decisions, or anywhere in the athletic department. Everyone's wondering what is going on and who's the person to step to the fore. Whatever I can do to help, I'm there. But in terms of wondering what's happening right now, I'm with you. I don't know. All I know is it's a nightmare of a situation for a lot of people involved, and more than just football.